evening. Come on in and share, 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 share. Like my page if you have not already done so. But come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good, welcome, Deacon Holmes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, again, welcome to Build Your Best Life of Coach Deborah D. Smith. We know my theme for 2022 is it's all about actions. That's because your words, your steps, your gestures, your posture, your facial expressions, your voice tone, what you write, and even the movement of your eyes speak volumes. And all your actions. What your actions say to others is crucial. So think before you act. Thank you so much. Well, my theme for this month, people, is releasing, building, and improving relationships. We all know that relationships are important in our lives. Research has shown that a person that has friends are happier. So we know that friendships are important of relationships. So we need to have the right type of people in our lives. Now, on Tuesday, we talked about the blueprint for your life. And then that blueprint will outline associates, your self-discipline, each fundamental goal that you have, your mindset, and basic financial knowledge. Those are the building materials of building your best life. But once you have established your blueprint for life, you are ready to move forward. You don't just remain stagnant. You got to do some movement to get some things done. So the next step is doing that interior work. We want to do the interior work. So as you build relationships, often you focus on that person's personality. But what you should pay closer attention to is the interior, the inside. What do your associates' soft skills exhibit? Their soft skills. Not that's just their talents and attributes, but their soft skills. Good evening, Dan. Thank you so much for tuning in. So what type things am I talking about? I'm talking about kindness, dependability, trustworthiness, authenticity, listening, and empathy. I'm going to say those again. Kindness, dependability, trustworthiness, authenticity, listening, and empathy. All of these are skills that are important when you take on that next phase, because you need to get to know people and you need to be the right type of person, because remember, we are focusing on those people that we need to release out of our lives, because not everyone is there to stay. Those relationships that we should build, and then those relationships that we already have that we need to improve. Therefore, you have to do some things. You don't just rely on the other person. You have to do some things. So first and foremost, are you kind to others? Are you kind? Now, it should not take much in order to ensure that you're fulfilling this one. Are you kind? Either you are or you aren't. I mean, and we have two models that we can follow that will easily help us to know how to be kind and how we need to live and treat others. And one is the golden rule. And of course, God left the 10 commandments for us. And that tells us about how we treat our parents, our neighbors, and everybody else. So we have guides to follow. So before we, and again, it's all about actions. So before we do anything or say anything to anybody, before we get mad and look at that person that just cut in front of us, and then we get to the light and they're there. Sometimes people will shoot at you just for looking at them. So, your actions are important. Remember, it's 10% of what is happening around you, but 90% of how you react. So that person was cutting up and driving recklessly, cut you off or whatever. So that's what was happening. But now you go up there and catch up with them and kind of look over at them and do this or do some other things with your fingers and stuff. You could cause someone to have road rage, begin to shoot, or something else, really cut you off. So we have to be mindful of what we are doing, and we have to a lot of times overlook what the other people are doing because we can only control ourselves. Good evening, Agnes. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the next thing is, how are you when it comes to dependability? Now, you want people to, when you need somebody or want somebody, you want to ensure that they are dependable, but are you dependable? So can others count on you? Is your word your bond? So if you say to me, hey, I'm going to meet you at BJ's restaurant in River City next Tuesday at 12 o'clock. If I don't call you, if I don't hear from you, if I drive all the way to River City and I'm there at 11:55, when I get there, can I count on you being there? Are you dependable? I sure hope so. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're doing well. So you have to be dependable. You can't just expect everything out of everybody else, but you don't want to step up and be on your A game. So nobody should have to remind you or anything like that, because you remember what I said, that second building material is being self-disciplined. So if someone has to keep calling you, or you said we having lunch tomorrow, tell your husband, remind me, I'm supposed to have lunch with Agnes tomorrow or next Tuesday. You're not being self-disciplined, and then you're not being dependable. If I drive all that way to get to that restaurant and get there and you're not there, girl, you should have reminded me. I shouldn't have to remind you. You can do just like I do. Put it in my calendar, write it on my whiteboard, put an alarm on my phone that the morning of. There's no excuse. So as we go through life and we want to make sure that we're building this thing the way we want it to come out, we got the blueprint. Now we're moving forward with the interior work. Make sure that we're on point. So we have covered being kind and being dependable. Now here's a big one. This is a good one. This is one of my pet peeves. Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? Not as this person that you're going to try to get to be your friend, not the person that's already your friend. Of course, you want them to be this as well, but you have to do it first. You can't expect anyone else to be above what you are willing to do or be. So if you want to have trusting friends, you need to be a trusted friend. So do you keep confidences when you're confided in? Okay, my friend Peggy just popped up. Hello, Peggy. So I know if I tell Peggy something, I can rely on her not moving it forward. So if I talk to Agnes next week, Agnes is not going to know anything about it because Peggy is not going to confide that in her. So I know if I need to talk to someone, I can dial up Peggy and talk with her, and it's going to be okay. Do you always do what is best for others? You can't always just look out for yourself. Well, let's see. Now, I want to go to that concert, but it's in Callahan. I don't want to ride way over there by myself. Now I don't have a problem sitting by myself, but I don't want to ride by myself. So I'm just gonna call out of the blue, call somebody and say, was you planning on going to that concert? I was just thinking about you. And you weren't just thinking about them. Now you're trying to get somebody to go with you, so you have to go by yourself. So you're giving somebody a call. You didn't think about them when you purchased your tickets. But are you trustworthy? You know? And, before I said, I can tell Peggy something and I don't have to worry about it getting out. And then vice versa. Because I remember I said, you have to be the one that have these qualities as well. So if Peggy tells me something, then I got to keep it right here. All right. And then when we're talking to others, look at them. If you're talking to them and they, kind of side eyeing or looking somewhere else, okay, really, what are they thinking? Can you trust them? Are they trustworthy? Why are the eyes shifting and going on? And then if I'm trying to say something and they are just rambling. Okay, what is that all about? Are they avoiding that I'm saying this is in confidence, that they were talking so much that they didn't realize? So, these things are essential as we move forward. We want to build our best lives. We want to be able to teach our children and our grandchildren, our students, our congregations, everybody. If everybody do a little bit with helping and assisting, then I don't have to do it all. But I'm willing to do as much as I can, but I need your help. So we all need to make sure that we have these good qualities. Another one, are you 100? Are you real or are you fake? A lot of times people they will act a certain way, talk a certain way, but believe it or not, people can see through deception. They may not say anything. They may let you just keep talking, and bragging about this and that. And they're like, really? Really? It's like somebody says, well, I was just thinking, it's time for me to start out on my own. So one day I was just thinking, and I got up and turned in my resignation. Man, I'm going to start my own thing. Now, nobody asked you that. So why did you make that comment knowing that you got fired? Nobody would have known you got fired. All you had to do was say, you're doing something different. You didn't have to say, I turned in my resignation because I saw. You're not being 100. You're being fake. Don't be fake. Be upfront with people. I'm not saying that you have to tell people your business, but what I used to always say when I was younger, don't volunteer and tell a lie. Sometimes people will back you up in a corner and people might think, oh, I got to get out of this. But some people, they just off the cuff and just come up with a lie. Don't do that. Be 100. Be yourself. If everybody comes up to the table and everybody this one has on a Gucci dress. This one has on, what's her name? Is it Ariana Papel dress? This one over here has on an Anne Klein. You got yours from the Goodwill store. Don't be up there saying, girl, you see this? I went to find this. I saw it online, but I needed it and it wasn't going to be able to get shipped to me. So I had to go to the mall and I looked. It was so hard for me to find my size, but I found it and it fit into a T. Oh, you look nice too. Now, why did you have to say that? Nobody asked you anything about what you had on, where you got it from, so you didn't have to fake it. Just because everyone else is, that's what they, like to do. They like to buy name brands. They can afford it. There's nothing wrong with that. If you can't, you don't have to make excuses for that. Be 100, be yourself. And above all, don't try to manipulate other people. Just like I gave the example before, because I want somebody to ride with me, then all of a sudden I'm so interested in who is going and who is not going. Instead of saying, well, I got my ticket months ago, but I wasn't thinking at the time that this was going to be way in Callahan and at night, and I don't want to go by myself. So I was just thinking to myself, maybe someone else is going, because this is really a popular comedian, So are you going? Oh, I didn't even know he was coming. I wonder if they have any other tickets. If they still have tickets, I'd be glad to go and ride with you. But just be yourself. Don't try to manipulate people. You would not want others to do you that way, so you don't do that. That is not the way that you handle things. Be yourself. Be 100. All the time. Not sometimes, but all the time. Okay, another one is listening. Listening is, and I found this out more and more in the last, I guess, 2 or 3 years about listening, because I always thought, probably like many people think, you listen or you don't listen, but listening is a great quality to have. More people need to have it, and it is, it is just so, it's much bigger than I'm sitting there across from you and looking at you like, okay, I'm listening, when I'm really not. In order to really, really listen to someone, you have to remove outside distractions. So, if Cynthia walks up to my desk, you say, hey, I need to run something by you. And I know that I have to have this to my boss, and all I have to do is look over it and sign it. I'm not going to tell her, yeah, girl, sit down. What's going on? And I'm steady doing something else. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm not listening because this is for my boss. I'm going to make sure it's right. So I'm really concentrating on this. I'm not listening to Cynthia. I'm giving the appearance that I'm listening, but I'm really not, So you have to remove outside distractions. So I guess you say, well, what do? She really needs to talk to you. Say, hey, girl, you got my ear anytime you want it. I got to get this to Sam. It's going to take me 2 minutes. Sit right there. Hold up for me 2 minutes. Let me look over this. She'll understand. It'll take you 2 minutes. You read over it, hit send. You're good to go. You remove that distraction. Remove clutter from your mind. Okay, so you had to get that done. Is it anything else over there on that to-do list that you have to get out that, is time sensitive? So you have to think about it. So don't be sitting there thinking like, you know what? I really want to hear what she got to say. But I got a meeting in 20 minutes. Let's see, I started the agenda, but I don't think I finished it. So if you have that going around in your mind, I'm not going to be really listening at Cynthia. I'm going to be hearing her talk, but am I comprehending what she's saying? Probably not. So if, you don't have the time, be 100. Say, girl, I got to get this to my boss. They're going to take me about 2 minutes. I have a meeting late on this afternoon. I have not finished the agenda. I have to get the agenda out. So can you give me 30 minutes and come back? She will feel so much better about the whole thing, because knowing that, you weren't going to just sit there and not pay her any attention when you had all this stuff going on in your mind. But she thought enough of you to say, hey, this is what I got to do, but come back. I want to talk to you. That's the way you do that. So you remove the outside distractions, get all the clutter from your mind, and then you sit and you listen, and you're going to look at them. You're not just going to stare. You're going to look off every now and then so they won't feel intimidated. But for the most part, you are going to really sit there and listen. And just like Cynthia says, give your full attention. You would not want that. You would want that same respect. And that is so true. So you're going to look at them, and then you're not going to only listen for those words. You're going to look at their verbals, because they may be sitting there. I have this opportunity to go to Hawaii in 2 weeks. Okay, so they're going to Hawaii in 2 weeks, and they're looking like that. There's something going on. So you let them finish and say, hey, girl, now you've been talking about Hawaii since I've known you. That's on your bucket list. Now you say you're going, but you have this look on your face. What's going on? Something's not right. Well, I do want to go. My husband is excited because I can take a guess. However, it's my son's recital, and I want to be there for him. He says he understands, but I don't want to miss it. Girl, is that all? I can go and I can record him. You better get your happy hips out here and start shopping. What is wrong with you? So if you are really listening, and you can see that it's something that they should be happy about, but their expression or the words they're saying doesn't match. There's something else going on. So it's important that you listen. And it's especially important when you're listening to people nowadays, because of all the mental health issues that are going on. Your friend is not sounding right. Something's missing. She looks the same. She always smiles. She's still smiling, but something's just not right. So you need to be listening so you can hear what's missing in a normal conversation, or something that she's saying that's crying out for help, that you can catch it. So be a good listener. And if that's something, that, like I said, probably only been like the last 2 or 3 years that I really got into how important it is and what you need, the pieces that come into play when you're supposed to be listening. So if that's something you need to work on, put it on your list and begin to work on that, because that is a good attribute to have as a friend, as a spouse, as a parent. And you will see it will make so much difference in your conversations, because sometimes it's something that you walk away from, and then it can be something they said that really resonated with you. And it was like they were talking about themselves, but they spoke directly to something that you have been thinking about. So it can be really, really helpful. So that is an excellent one to have. Another one, sometimes people, and this is my last one, but a lot of times people get so caught up in doing them, and yes, you are the most important person in the world. You need to love yourself, look out for yourself, make sure you're on point, but you also have to have empathy for others. What do I mean by that? I need to feel sorry for people? No, I'm not saying that at all. You don't need to feel sorry for anybody. That's sympathy. You need empathy for others. That is, you need to be able to listen to people, understand their point of view. I know you've heard the term, it's okay to agree to disagree. So you cannot agree with something that someone is saying, but that does not mean that you have to get in an argument about it. You got to be right or whatever, but you can listen. And when they explain why they feel the way that they feel, then you can kind of understand. Oh, okay. I never looked at it like that. I was looking at it totally different. I was thinking X, Y, Z, but now that you said it, you made me, kind of delve deeper down into what that means. And so I got it now. I still, I'm still right now going towards the way my position that I was already, feeling. Uh, but I can see your point of view as well. And it can be something simple and it can be something that's really, really detailed. Like I've been saying for years and years and years, I don't care what time what they do to the time. If they leave it on daylight saving time, they do something else, but just leave it. Just leave the time alone. Stop changing it back and forth and back and forth. Then I listen at other people's opinions, and some people say, well, it gives them a break. They love having the additional daylight, but then again, in the winter it's okay because then you're inside and blah blah blah. So I understand, but I just don't like the back and forth, the time changing. Your whole body has to readjust, all the time. And we made it, in my opinion, before they started messing with the time. So I'm going to just like, leave the time alone. But I am willing to listen to other people's perspective to see, well, why do you think the way you think? So, like I said, it can be something that's really, really deep, or it can be a simple matter. But it's always valid to respect other people. You're not always right. I don't care if you got a PhD, you got 2 or 3 of them, and 5 masters, and you went to Harvard, and one summer you went to Yale, you studied in England. You're not always right, and other people do have opinions. So you cannot always lean to, well, I know I'm right, and I've been doing this for 50 years, and well, see, that could be the problem right there. You've been doing it for 50 years. For 50 years you've been doing it the same way. Things change. So listen to that new, that's just like when I said that, that's just like you've been working in this department for so long. You got it down. I mean, it works smooth. It is together. But someone new and young, they come in the department and they're trying to tell you how you can change it and it'll be more efficient. I've been doing this for 40, I've been here 50 years. I've been doing this for 35 years this way, never had any problems. It works like clockwork, blah, 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 blah. Can you stop and listen to what they are saying? They probably just got out of school. They know all of the latest technology. They know about this, that, and the other. Listen to them. They probably can save you hours of time. The way you're doing it is probably accurate. It's probably good quality. You get it where it needs to go. It looks nice, but they probably can show you how to do the same thing by programming something and save you hours of work with the same quality, maybe even better. But you don't have that empathy to stop and listen to someone else's viewpoint to get their perspective. They're trying to help you, the department, and the company. So you need to go back to that listening. But it's all should be a team effort, and you should be willing to listen to others. It's just like, I think I'm pretty organized, and I can take Word, and I can do different things, and I can make a form, and it can look nice. But I was recently working on a team with someone, and it was 3 of us, and we were asked, well, who's going to put everything together so we can send it out? So this one lady said, well, I'll do it. I'll just use Google Docs. I think she said Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Docs. Also, great. I was busy, so that was fine with me. Man, when I tell you, I was so impressed by what she did. I mean, it's just like when, you get something from a doctor or whatever, and it's just so efficient. It looks nice on the screen, and you just put in your information and it spits it out to the doctor, and you can keep a copy or whatever. That's what she produced. I have no idea how to use that. So, I'm glad I wasn't bucking, well, I'll do it, but she showed me that, it's a new way to do things. So I can't wait till somebody sits down and teaches me how to use that, because I don't know how to do it. But, we can learn a lot if we take the time to be kind and listen and learn. And again, we're trying to build those relationships using the right tools and doing the right things, because we need a group of people working with us that's going to help us, that are going the same way we are. Those people that are in our lives and they're trying to pull us down or keep us from our destiny or whatever, we don't need those. So we do need to know how to release people, but we also need to know how to build relationships and how to improve the ones we have. So I hope today that this talk on interior work was helpful for you. And if you could share with others, if it was, I would be delighted. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Build Your Best Life with Coach Deborah D. Smith invites you to the annual Mothers and Sons Seminar. That will be held Monday, May 2nd to Thursday, May 5th, at time 6:30 p.m. EST, each night on Facebook and YouTube. Our special guests include Denise and Henry Dinkins, Jocelyn, and Amy and Charles, Anita, and Ticarius Cummings, Nick and Bryant, and John Marcus Smith. This will be a time of equipping, motivation, and inspiration. For more information, visit now www.buildyourbestlife.org.
Thank you so much. So please put that on your calendar. I am looking forward to our 2022 Mothers and Sons Seminar. This year, I guess you see we have our sons on there. So each night we're going to have mothers and sons having dialogue together. So I cannot wait. I am excited to have them on. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Like I always say, you could have been anywhere else, but you tuned in to Build Your Best Life, and I appreciate it. Please join me on Saturday. I will be here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please join me on Saturday. Looking forward to it. And remember to follow me on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. On there, you can read my weekly blog that comes out each Monday. You can look at my calendar of events to see what events that are on the horizon. You can find out more about me, more about Build Your Best Life. As well, you can visit my store where it shows the services that I offer, which are consultations, coaching, speaking, webinar speaking, and you can also get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. This is a book that will help our young people, parents, grandparents, mentors, coaches, teachers, everyone that wants to build their best life or assist someone else in building their best life. So go on my website. You can order your autographed copy. You can get it quickly. If you prefer ebooks, you can go on Amazon.com and get your Kindle version. Thank you so much. And remember, your life is what you make of it. Please follow my basic principles in order to build your best life, not tomorrow, not next week, but starting right now. And remember, build your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. And I hope to see you Saturday here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye. Be blessed.